Well, it wasn't a Grand Slam, but it might as well have been. Jeez, just watched the Austrian Grand Prix, and I skipped through it quite a lot, actually. I think I probably ended up watching it in, what, less than half an hour. There was just a lot which you could skip through in that race. Yeah, lots of action here and there, but largely inconsequential. Verstappen wins. He didn't lead every lap, so it's not a Grand Slam. But he did manage to get so much of a gap over Charles Leclerc that he was able to pit with a couple of laps to go and just get himself the fastest lap point. Because of course he was. He qualified on pole and he went off into the distance. It's difficult to... And I've said this how many races in a row now? To have the superlative to describe how that combination is working. To see driver and team working that well together, I mean... On an individual level, I think the last time that we saw that was... Well, I'd probably say Vettel either in 2013 or 2011, because that was just so convincing. And Sergio Perez, admittedly, didn't get into Q3. That time was deleted in qualifying. He started 15th, but Sergio doesn't have the same answers to it. Max is able to keep the car within the track limit, something that became the key theme as, what was it, nearly half the grid? Ended up with penalties at some point or another. Tsunoda ended up getting, 10 seconds in the end for track limits. Yeah. I don't know what we could say about that when it comes to Red Bull Ring. Is it that the cars aren't suitable for the track? Is it the track needs to change? Is it the drivers need to change how they're driving? It's really difficult to say because, obviously, racing purists hate the idea that track limits can decide the outcome of a race. They think, oh, but it's all racing surface. Almost like you see in American sports. I mean, look at racing at Watkins Glen, for instance. Especially in the NASCAR Cup Series. You see so many times the drivers just going way beyond what you consider the track limits of the European Series, and they get away with it. But, yeah, I mean, how do you solve it? Do you solve it? I think one of the things that this race proves, and it's been the same with the Red Bull Ring since it came back, is it's just going to be difficult with the kind of cars we've got now in F1. In the 14 to 17s, they did alright racing, but remember the big thing was the contact between the two Mercs there in that generation. The 17 through 21 cars. The big one was, 2019? Was it 2019 or 2018 when Verstappen ran Leclerc off the track? Like, a lot of the things that happen are contacts or not, or near contacts. I mean, think about how many cars went off in 20 and 21 at the two races that we had those years. Track limits was a big issue then. Forcing another driver off the track was a big issue then. And maybe it's a sign that F1 needs to adapt its cars more to the tracks than the tracks to the cars. Or maybe we just need F1 to go into an era a bit like NASCAR did, where it had the cookie cutter mile and a halves. Though we've heard people talking about as they dub them, Tilka drones. So, I don't know. Overall, I enjoyed watching it, but I'm glad I was able to watch it as a replay, because otherwise I think I would have gotten very bored with a lot of action that built up and then didn't happen. And it was so slow with giving out the penalties and warnings. I think Hulkenberg got a track limits black and white warning about 10 laps after he retired. Those are my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comment section down below. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye for now.